Well, now we're walking to Karnak. So that's the Luxor temple. And now we're headed to Karnak. You'll see we're walking down the avenue of the Sphinxes. We got Sphinx on all sides of me, just rode down here. And during their annual festival, they would take that, I believe that's a replica of this gold boat carrying a gold ark to one of the gods, I forget. I'm not sure if it's Amun. Definitely not the Ark of the Covenant. It's definitely not the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, it's definitely not the Ark of the Covenant. It's just some gold box that represents a god. Definitely not the Ark of the Covenant. I think it's the Ark of the Covenant. So I have a very long walk on the Sphinx Avenue to the Temple of Karnak. I have no idea it's going to take me. Kind of just want to talk about Egypt. You know, a couple years ago, I spent a lot of time, lived a short while in Turkey. Loved it. That was from the first season. Last year, I was in Thailand for a very short period. Loved it. Egypt is amazing, but it's an interesting country. It gets a bad rap online. And the reason it gets a bad rap is because when you get here, people are just anyone that talks to you is basically trying to get money out of you. I mean, anybody. 100% of the people on the street that approach you are trying to get money out of you. And that's normal in Turkey and Istanbul, it's normal. In many places, it's normal. In America, it's normal. But here, it's literally every 10 minutes, there's someone. And it's true. Now, the reason it's like that is because I don't know a lot. I didn't research a lot. I was too busy looking at history about the government. But the government has basically all the control, and they just fuel the money into basically the military. They have one of the strongest militaries in the Middle East, apparently. So they don't really give much back to the people. So the people actually don't make much money. I mean, I think $1 US is like 30 cents here or something like that. But if you go try to buy something here, and normal Egyptians try to buy something, it's so inflated. It's like, you know, they're still paying like $20 a shirt, $30 a shirt, $60, $80 for gas. It's crazy. So the main industry here is tourism. So what do? Is they just try to get as much money out of you as possible. I mean, you get, you know, some people ask for money in poorer countries, and they'll ask for like, give me $1, give me, you know, whatever. Maybe even their currency is less than $1. Here it's literally like, give me $20. You know, I had the Egyptian pound. They take US dollars here, but I had the Egyptian pound, and like handing it to people, they're just like, can I get more? Like, what's this? That's not gonna buy me food. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't afford this. So I smoked hookah. I had a hookah and 3 non-alcoholic beers, and the guy tried to charge me $75 in Egypt. Obviously, I didn't pay that. I was a kid too, by the way. I said, nope, not paying that. Oh, I'm sorry, I put it in wrong. How much is okay with you? So if you put it in wrong, why are you asking me how much is okay with me? Give me the right price. So, you know, I ended up just giving him $15 or whatever it is, but it is a shock because when you're in Thailand or somewhere, it's not like that. I think even Turkey might be a bit cheaper. But yeah, if someone says, hey, how are you? Hey, you know, what are you doing? How long are you here? They're just collecting information, and they're going to try to take you and plan out every single day that they're going to be your driver or guide or whatever, or their friend's going to help you. And then you're going to get stuck with a huge bill. So it sucks being a traveler here, but at the same time, I mean, it doesn't suck. It's annoying, but whatever. But at the same time, it's like a lot of the YouTubers complaining, they come here and I'm like, why have they not traveled? Do they just stay in fancy hotels? Have they not traveled in third world countries before? Like, it's like that, you know, parts of Africa or wherever it may be, it's like that. You know, you're going to be around extreme poverty. Here, it's more scammy. Hi, friend, how are you? Big smiles, and then, you know, give me money. So mean face it. This is my recommendation. This is what I usually do. I just kind of get a mean face. Hey friend, I don't acknowledge them. I kind of just maybe stick my hand out. I'm friendly, I'm not rude, but I'm stern. And then, hey friend, where you from? I just say, I'm from Earth, I'm from Russia, I'm from Mars, you know. If you say you're from America, they think you're rich. They think America's streets have gold on them. So, yeah, I just kind of feel like throwing that in there because I do think Egypt gets a bad rap, and it's partially true, but it's not the people's fault. They're kind of forced in this weird situation. I will say the one thing about the Egyptian mentality I could tell, it's short-minded, it's short-term thinking. You know, they're trying to get, you know, like I told that kid that tried to charge me $75. I hung out with him and his brothers. They're super cool. I said, I was going to leave you guys $100, but now that you try to rip me off, I ain't leaving you anything, you know? And I know some people might think that's wrong, but hey, you know, you're good to me, I'm good to you. So if you're bad to me, then I'm just going to stay away from you. I still gave him way more than it cost. So just want to bring that up. It seems like a lot of people that give it a bad rap, give Egypt a bad rap, probably haven't done much traveling or stayed at hostels, or I'm not sure. You just got to know how to work it. You know, a guy's going to walk with you, whatever. You know, and then, you know, if he does anything for you, even something as going to the restroom, you wash your hands. And this guy there, like, there's no paper towels. He goes, oh, here, and hands you some toilet paper. You give it to him. He's going to stick his hand out and ask for money. It's because there's no economy here, basically. So, unfortunately for the Egyptian, it's inflated. The government's kind of this weird capitalist dictatorship, and it just funds the military. So the people are kind of stuck. Kind of one of those countries where they treat the tourists probably better than they're its own people. How I feel about it from traveling, it feels like a Islamic Cuba. Not exactly, but it feels like Cuba. When I was in Cuba, it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of exhausting, you know? Sometimes you're like, I just want to go meet people, and the best part of traveling is the people. How for me, I've always said, like, 10 plus years, 15 years of traveling, it's like, man, if I meet someone and have a good time, man, it really does warm the heart. It makes you just like, you connect, you learn more about them and their walk of life and their culture that's so different from yours. But when you know they're doing that and you find out hours later they're doing it to get some money out of you or being fake, it kills it. But think of the Egyptian standpoint. This is just how they are. This is just how the culture. I think it'd be a little smarter to be long-term thinking, you know, set up your grandchildren to have a good country, because go on YouTube, there's tons of videos, tons of blogs saying don't go to Egypt. You know, you want people to say, go to Egypt. I mean, not to compare it to Turkey, because they're kind of, you know, kind of a little rivalry there, but, you know, it's, people always love Turkey when they go. It's rare you meet someone that says a bad thing about Turkey. It's because the people are honest, great, friendly. Yeah, there's scams there, just like anywhere else, but it's overloaded in Egypt. So anyways, I just figured I'd throw that in. I don't think it should deter you from seeing the pyramids or coming to Egypt. And the people are great. It's just, you got to learn their mindset. You know, you're coming from a Western mindset, just learn their mindset. And also play the game. If they try to charge you a bunch of money, you start your haggling. You go low, you know? And also realize, like, you know, like, if it's what you can afford, right? So, you know, I was supposed to pay 400 Egyptian pounds from the Luxor airport to my Airbnb. I knew that. I had it confirmed with the Airbnb host. I always ask the host, hey, how much is it from the airport? Just so I know how much to haggle. And she said about 400 or 500. The guy tried to charge me $2,000 right off the bat, Egyptian pounds. I don't know, I think that's like $15, $20 or something. I think it's like 20 bucks. It might be 40, I don't know. But, you know, I said, no, man, you know, I've been here before. I always say that. I've been here before, my friend's here. I always say, my friend's here, I'm not alone. I visit 400, it's not 400. So, you know, he got down to 700. And I was still thinking I should go more. And I said, you know what, I'd rather, 700's okay. I need to get on this damn taxi and find where I'm staying. So that being said, that's what I think. Don't let the YouTube videos on there deter you. Just know how to work the system. You got to learn how to be a traveler. Things are going to go wrong. There's going to be problems. I will say, not the biggest fan of the Egyptian food. I'm sorry, Egyptian people, I love you, but the food, I'm not the biggest fan. There's some good dishes. Kosherie, I think it's called. It's a really good dish. It's like their main dish everyone talks about. But the internet's spotty. So I work from my computer, so it's been kind of hard. Internet's okay sometimes, but it's the upload. You cannot upload. The constant haggling, constantly having to think, do the math in your head if you're getting screwed or not. But you know, it's just the way it is. If you want to travel, this is part of it, and it's a learning process. You become smarter. I mean, to be honest, when I was coming to Egypt, I was like reading all these blogs. It got me kind of worried. I haven't called my buddy Benny, who's a world traveler, and he's been to Egypt. I said, dude, you got this. Like, just like any other country, you've traveled enough. And I realized I haven't traveled like in a good year. So when I came here instantly, I'm like, okay, I got this. You just got to work the system. You know, you get screwed over a couple times, you learn, and then you don't make the same mistake twice. So if I could give some travel tips, is you could take Uber. You could Uber in Cairo. Always avoid taxis. Taxis and prostitutes are the worst people in the world. I don't have much experience with the prostitutes, but you always hear that, right? But taxis are, I mean, whether it's New York, I mean, I got screwed over for $40 in America, in Atlantic City. You know, the guy just lied to me. Says this price, and then he scanned my card, added $20, and I called him when I got the receipt. So what the hell? He said, oh, I have a family. It's like, so taxi drivers are shitty everywhere. That's why Uber exists. You can use Uber in Cairo. They have one here in Luxor. I wasn't able to log on. My number was blocked or something. Maybe you need an Egyptian number. Yeah, I'll link that below what it's called. So if you're in Luxor, but just kind of get an idea. You know, that never let the taxi driver grab your bag. Okay, come on. Okay, yeah, I know where it's at. Let's go. No, stop. How much? No problem, my friend. Don't worry. Good price. No. How much? Don't take any of his stuff. And you might have to do that over and over. And then if you say how much and you won't agree, grab your bag. Okay, I'll get another guy and walk off. Now make sure there's another guy before you say that. I've done that before. Looked around. There's nobody. Came back. He jacked up the price. So never let him take your bag. Never even walk towards his car. Be worried. Some guys go, oh, hey friend, okay, my friend's gonna drive. You go, oh, you're not the driver? No, okay, then I don't want to deal with you. Go with the driver, because he's gonna try to take a cut, you know, for walking you over to someone, you know. So sometimes in countries, just them being kind, they're gonna want to tip. It's Egyptian culture to tip. So yeah. By the way, I was gonna make this video about Karnak, but I see the Avenue of the Sphinx ends. It's blockade up here, so I don't know what that means, but also my inner thighs are shafting because I'm fat. But yeah, I figure I'd give some travel tips. Let's see. Airbnb, a lot of technology has saved. It's so easy now. I used to travel with pen and paper and try to like write down addresses and memorize them, you know. I usually travel without internet. I used to travel without phones. I leave my phone in California when I traveled, just to kind of get a sense of it. But now phones are, one, I'm recording this video on a phone, but it's so easy to Google Maps. And you know, the taxi driver tries to tell me, oh, I gotta go across the bridge, or so far I gotta charge you more. I'm like, look at the map, you don't have to cross the river, bro. It's like 10 kilometers. No, it's 40 kilometers. No, Google says 10, bro. And you show it to him, he goes, oh. You know, so Airbnb is easy. Airbnb is all about reviews. Read those reviews. If Wi-Fi is important to you, go through the reviews, and you can search for the word Wi-Fi, internet, whatever. The more reviews, the better. They might have 5 stars, but only 2 reviews. That could be them and their friends. Make sure there's a lot of reviews. The longer, the better. Better process. But yeah, if you stay at a horrible like place, it could really ruin it. Now, sometimes a place looks bad and it's awesome. You know, it might not be the Hilton. You know, I never really stay at hotels, but it might not look like the Hilton, but it might be cool. Right now, I'm staying at a studio on top of a building. It's outside the tourist area. It's affordable. It's got great reviews. It's got like a pool. Some lady who married an Egyptian guy, some British lady lives there with like a bunch of cats, and like 7 floors up. She has all these rooms. I got a studio with like a huge balcony. It's tiny, a little dusty, but man, it's awesome. I love that type of stuff. I'm single, so I guess it doesn't matter when you're solo traveling where you stay. I don't know if I had a girlfriend, she'd want to stay there, but when you travel in countries like this, be prepared when you walk outside. Everyone's going to stare at you. Don't look at them. Focus where you're going. Look like you know where you're going. I walk a little fast and a little like aggressive, I guess. Like I know where I'm going. Always look like you know where you're going. Don't be like, oh. So maybe before you leave your hotel room, find out where you're going. If you're worried about your Wi-Fi, I always take snapshots of maps you know? And I kind of go, okay, I go 2 streets this way and I go left and 1 street this way. Okay, I kind of got it. You know, you could download maps now on you could download Google Maps, all types of maps. I've done that driving around Turkey. Let's see what other tips I have. Always agree the price before anything. So that hookah, I made the mistake. You know, I figured it was so cheap, a hookah, right? And a couple of non-alcoholic beers in Egypt. Well, the guy, you know, tried to get $75 out of me. He's like, I'm not paying that. You could also stand up for yourself. If someone tells you something, defend yourself. In Egypt, there's tourist police. And apparently, I haven't tried it because I haven't really needed to, but if someone's messing with me, they say, hey, I'm gonna tell the tourist police, you know? But also, if you get into avoid aggression. You really don't want to get in a sticky situation in a different country where you're the outsider. So really avoid aggression. So no one does anything for free. If they want to carry your bag, anything like that, there's usually a charge for it. So I'll carry my own bag, And if they insist, because sometimes they'll rip it off you. You know, like 5 guys fighting for, like in Africa, 5 dudes were fighting off of it in Ghana. It's like, okay, how about this? I'm not paying anything, okay? And be very stern with the money negotiation. A lot of times they'll say, no problem, don't worry about it. I got it, it's free. Don't worry about it, it's free. You know, don't worry about it. I got these dudes. Say, what's up, YouTube? Shukran. So yeah, these Egyptian guys are yelling at me. I don't know if you can see them on the video, they're too far away, but you know, it's like, you know, they're friendly, right? But you know, they're closer, they're probably like, what are you doing tomorrow? Can I give you a ride? Right? $100, you know, and it should be 40. So, kind of lost my train of thought. Anyways, just agree on the price before anything. That being said, I said Airbnb, it was charged. I didn't know they were charging a little extra, but I was fine with it. Had a view of the pyramids in Giza. I asked for some beer. You know, it's a Muslim country. You don't see a lot of alcohol around. It's also Ramadan. So it's like a Muslim holiday for 30 days where they don't eat during daylight or drink. So having alcohol is a little disrespectful, but they were cool with it. In fact, I got probably throughout the 3 days I stayed there, like randomly, like 6, 7 beers, and they didn't charge me for it. I got water, they didn't charge for it. Now they probably got the money on the other end, right? But, you know, just saying, like, just gotta be smart, roll with the punches, traveling. Don't let it ruin your trip, and you're gonna lose sometimes. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, Karnak is closed, so we walked the whole Sphinx, alley of the Sphinx. I kind of assumed it was gonna be closed. It's late. Got a late start today. I was flying in this morning from Cairo, but yeah, they're doing a light show at 6, so it was closed. Talked to the security guards. It's funny, I was talking to Egyptian people. They were really cool. They're like, where you from? Where you from? I'm like, they're gonna ask for a tip. And they were cool. We started talking about movies, Arab movies, and stuff like that. They said how Turkey doesn't like them. I live in Turkey, and every time I mention it, I think it would kind of like give me some props here, but no, they're like, they don't like us. They want to be better. They want to be Europeans. So I'm like, all right. Anyways, let's talk about more travel tips because I got more time and I want to make a video. I haven't really made a video like this, but since we're walking along all of the avenue of the Sphinx, So another thing is toilets. You're gonna see some crazy toilets if you travel. I haven't seen one in a long time that like really shocked me. I used to stay at hostels and really off the wall places, and I still do, but usually I find a solo room now just because I'm getting older and cranky. And if I'm in a bunk bed with a bunch of drunk people like it used to be me and my friends be all drunk, or you and a bunch of solo travelers to meet up. But toilets. So what they use is, in most of the world actually, they use a bidet, but it's just like a hose next to the toilet. You put it behind you and wash your butt off. And it's actually way cleaner. Like, you realize it's kind of gross in America that we just use toilet paper. Turkey used the sprayer, and then they would have toilet paper, and then you don't flush the toilet paper. Central America, some parts of South America, and Asian countries, and also some Middle Eastern countries, you don't flush the toilet paper because the pipes are smaller and it can really clog it up and cause problems. So they typically have a little trash can there. It's gross after a while, but you get really used to it. It's kind of just off in the corner, and you know, like kind of like the girl trash can for their tampons. It's kind of the same thing. You just kind of put it there and pretend it doesn't exist. But the water cleans you really good. And when I go back to America, I'm always like, man, I missed that. And now they're selling bidets. All right, what else? Let's talk about animals. I love dogs. So when I first started traveling, I'd always like find these street dogs and hug them. And sometimes street dogs could be aggressive and attack you, so beware. But you know, one time I was hugging this cute dog, and everyone was kind of like staying away from it. And I was like, "What's up with this dog? Why don't you guys like it? It's so cute." And they're like, "Oh, it has fleas." I was like, "Oh, I've been hugging that thing for 2 days." So, street dogs, dirty, but you know, I've got some food. Throw them some food. Some countries you'll see them beat their dogs. You know, you're gonna have to get used to seeing rough shit like that. Maybe they're a little rough with their kids. Turkey, brilliant with animals. They freaking treat animals like humans. It's amazing. Man, it's amazing. But we're in Egypt, so I won't talk too much about that. Another travel tip. Oh, if you're flying on a plane, it's always best to be prepared before you go in. I've been traveling like 15 years or whatever it is. I still get confused in airports, especially different countries. They're all kind of random. You get a lot of respect for the European American system, how organized it is, but even then you get confused sometimes. So just be prepared to be confused. If it's your first time flying an airport, I'm probably just this much more experienced than you because it's just so confusing sometimes. Let's see here. Oh, airports. You bring a big carry-on onto the plane. The space in the planes always get full. I usually take a little bag and usually check my bag. If it gets lost, it gets lost. Because I just want like my phone, maybe a charger, my computer, because I don't want that to get lost because that's my livelihood. A book, and a jacket, a thin jacket. Because even if it's a hot country, they're gonna crank the AC on, you're gonna get cold. I put that thin jacket on when I'm sick. I always take it off. Headphones and stuff like that. Maybe, and a bottle of water is always good to get it. Because people always bring way more than they're supposed to. They bring a bunch of junk and they fill the upper bins, and there's never enough room for everybody on the plane because airlines treat us like cattle, and people start bitching and moaning. And actually from Cairo to Luxor, this lady was like trying to be all dominant. It's just gross. And she was like, "Whose bag is this?" And just like, this bag's small, you could put it between your legs. I'm like, she's telling another grown lady that, and I'm just like, dude, like, you can't tell someone what to do with their bag. She has every right up there as you do, but you brought a bunch of bags, so you're entitled. So just be prepared if you're gonna get on a plane, especially for the last one on, and you have carry-on that someone might have snuck 2 carry-ons on somehow, or a bunch of people did, and there might not be space. There usually is, but no worry, if there's no space, I'll just check your bag anyways. One of the stewardess will take it. I usually like to put my bag where I could kind of see it from my seat, because sometimes people smash or crap and everything, but most of the time I can bring a small backpack and just put it between my legs. Let's see here. I prefer window seats. The middle seat's hell. If you're on a long flight, transatlantic flight, or flying across the Pacific, anything above 3 hours, get a window. Second is aisle in the middle. Some people like the aisle. I don't. I'm kind of wide, so the stewardess always hit me with the cart, and they don't apologize. But the window, the main reason I like the window is, one, you can lean your head on something to sleep. It's not that comfortable, but it's better than nothing. 2 is, if you're in the aisle seat and you're sleeping, someone in the middle of the window has to go to the restroom or get up to walk around the plane or whatever they want to do. They wake you up to get through. So when you're on the window and you're asleep, no one's going to bother you, right? So that's why I like the window. I don't get up. I don't move a lot. I kind of try to meditate when I'm on a plane. I try to sit very still and relax and calm. And I only get up, maybe once to go to the restroom. But I really just try to like get in the zone, try to sleep, try to really calm down. I see a lot of people fidgeting and moving around. I try to really relax. Travel tip, always check your visas. Check your visas. Usually get by them at the airport, but every once in a while there's a weird country, so just check that. You might read that a country is dangerous. I think Egypt, a lot of people say don't come because it's dangerous. It's not dangerous. I'm sure there's some theft, but I'm sure the murder rate's way higher in America in most of the cities. So compare it to your own city. You know, you want to go to certain bad neighborhoods in like Oakland, right? Or San Francisco, where I used to live. You want to just go there at night. So if there's a bad area in a place, you just don't go to it. And usually most tourist centers are protected because they're financially the heartbeat of some of these places. Next is learn a couple words. I'm bad at this, kind of a hypocrite, but learn a couple words. Hello, how much, thank you, sorry is a good one. It's really easy in the Arabic word. You say salam alaikum, and then you reply alaikum salam. Merhaba is like hello. But you know, I've actually been, you know, like most places speak English, so you'll be all right. Don't leave your stuff around. If you're at a cafe, watch your bags. You're probably good, but just watch your bags. Don't be too trustworthy, I would say, but also don't be too off-putting. You know, I let my kids use my phone a lot, but I keep a close eye on them and make sure I could grab them real quick in case they run. But I never had that problem. I let the kids run around, record videos, really cool for them. And it's kind of a cool video to have. So, let's see here. Oh, shoes. Wear some comfortable shoes. You're gonna be walking when you travel more than you think. Even if you take taxis or whatever, you're gonna be walking a lot. I used to wear these Nikes. In Turkey, I had these Nikes, Nike Max. I always buy those. They're so comfortable, man. Those are like great walking shoes. They don't look like it, but they're awesome. They're a little heavy, but man, I've hiked in those in Turkey. This video here, I went hiking in the snow in those bad boys. I got these Skechers. They're kind of funky looking. I said, let's get them all black. I said, that'll be good. You know, all white shoes kind of stand out in certain countries. So I got all black. They're not cutting it. They're really comfortable for about a week. And now they're kind of flattening out, I think. So Skechers, boo. I'll be rocking the Nike Max next country. So let's talk water. Always buy a bottle of water. I usually buy a big ass bottle of water for my room, maybe once a day or 2 small ones or whatever it is. Make sure it's sealed. Sometimes the tap water is okay to rinse out your mouth. It depends on the country. But sometimes you drink that water, and most of the locals will drink it, but if you drink it, you'll get sick because your stomach's not used to it. So the last thing you want when you're on vacation is traveler's diarrhea. I've only had it once. I was kind of broke. I used to travel poor. I used to go broke in every country I went to. I'd have like $300 and land in the country, and you know, a couple buses later and you're broke or drunken nights. But yeah, you don't want traveler's diarrhea. It's horrible, and it ruins your vacation. You don't want to burn. Look, you got so many days off of work or whatever it is. You don't want to burn them on the like shitting your pants, and then you're gonna try to go to the place, and you're gonna have to find a restroom, and it's gonna be gross. So, travel diarrhea. Some people take Pepto-Bismol. I've only had it once, and that's because I was broke in Costa Rica. We're in Puerto Viejo, like 10 plus years ago. Some friends. They all had money. They were buying these like nice burritos at our hostel, Rockin' J's, Puerto Viejo, what's up? And I was trying to save every dollar, and I didn't give a crap about food. All my money went to beer, basically. So I really did not care about food, which is funny because I'm a chunky monkey. But when I first traveled, I didn't give a shit about food. Oh, I gotta try this, whatever. Now I'm a little more in, like, as you could tell, I'm a little more into the food, but still not a huge foodie. But back when I first started traveling, I didn't care. I was thinking about going out and having an amazing story, drinking. So all my money went to beer. But I went across this little mini mart, and there's some little samosas. I had this little like dusty ass like burner, and they're so cheap. So I'd buy 2 of those each day while my friends bought burritos. Well, sure enough, I got the diarrhea. So that being said, when you order a drink in a country that has bad water, don't get ice, because where's that ice coming from? It's probably tap water. Some countries actually make sure it's good water, but just don't get ice. So get a can of Coke, a cold can of Coke instead of a glass. They go, hey, would you like a glass? I always say no, but let's see. trust your gut. I got this advice. I was on when I first started traveling, I went on something called Semester at Sea, where you study abroad. Like, kicked me off. Went to 10 countries in like 3-4 months. But we had this old guy, Don Gogniak, who really interesting guy, very adventurous guy, and he had all this advice. All right, trust your gut. Don Gogniak advice that he gave back in 2010, and he probably didn't know he gave it to me. I was in a crowd of kids listening to him talk. Actually, I'm going to give you a few. I'm just going to rant about Don Gogniak's advice that I have used since then. One is trust your gut. Oh man, really trust your gut. Your gut is everything. If you're in a neighborhood and you don't feel right, get out of there. If you're talking to someone, look them directly in the eyes. Look them in the eyes. Really try to get a sense of them. I try to look in their soul. I really do. It doesn't always work, but try to get their vibe. I believe you're a bad person, you attract bad people. If you're a good person, you attract good people. But even if you're a good person, those bad people come around. No matter what, you get in a car, your gut gets out, just bail. I don't care, take my money, whatever, I'm out. Trust your gut. Number 2 from Don Gogniak, find a park and sit for an hour. I'll kind of change this one up a bit. It's not always a park, but sometimes just wherever I find a bench where I know I won't be like hassled or nothing. And you can just watch the daily life of whatever country you're in. A lot of times it is a park, or a coffee shop, or whatever it is. Try to be outside. See the mom with her kid, see them getting on the bus, see the sounds of their public transportation, the honking of the horns as you hear behind me maybe. The laughter, the smells. Take all your senses in. The greatest thing about travel is your senses are overload. Every taste is different. Everything you hear is different, different languages, different types of music. The smells are different, different types of food, the exhaust, whatever it is, the heat. The touch, how people like, hey, what's up? They might be really formal. They might give you a hug. They might kiss you on the cheek. Touching is different. So your senses are really overload. So that's important. Another thing is, I actually had to learn this the hard way. I have a temper, and it's gotten better over the years. But when I was younger, it was really bad, but roll with the punches. So things are going to go wrong. It's just going to happen. Things are going to go wrong when you travel. What do? Something happens, you can react. The more angry you get, you're wasting moments of your travel time. And you're also probably going to make the problem worse. And half the time, you're probably wrong. I find that all the time. I'm mad at someone because of this, because I think they screwed me over or whatever. And it was just a misconception, or whatever. Or maybe I didn't have, the Wi-Fi wasn't working. There was something on my phone. I put the password in wrong. So problems happen. Be stern, stand up for yourself. Don't get ripped off. But also, if you get robbed or whatever, don't let it ruin it. I know it's hard, and that's what I had to learn. I used to go over my head. I was in the Dominican Republic walking my brother, and I had some money to go out drinking. We're going to go drinking together. And these 2 girls it was like this. I guess I was my dad owns a small sailboat, and I was visiting them. Him and my brother were living on it. They happened to be in this kind of prostitute area. It was weird. Just a lot of street. It was a beautiful area. You could see a lot of stuff, but it just happened to have all these prostitutes. And I swear, I'm smart. I would have my money in my cargo shorts in the back with the zipper shut, so I could feel anyone open the zipper. 2 girls went beside me. They both put their arms crossed around my back, and I was like, no, I'm good. No, I don't do that. No prostitutes. And literally one grabbed my ass and the other one unzipped it. So I was so much focused on one girl grabbing my ass, I didn't know she unzipped the other one. And then they just like, okay, bye, walked off. And then I get to the bar and I have no money. I'm like, oh, those bitches. Damn, it was so smooth. I gotta give them props. I was so angry because I got, and I thought I was good and I couldn't get got. I thought I was done getting got. I'm a travel guru. Well, I got. You're always gonna get got, no matter how much you travel. So I was so mad. And my brother was like, dude, it was like $2 in like American money. Like, you're crying about $3? Who cares? Here's some money, have some drinks. But it was the fact that I got, punked basically that pissed me off, but it wasn't worth it. So now when something goes wrong, I didn't have internet for 2 days here. They said there would be internet. They kept saying they'll fix it and oh, it works, but it didn't. I just gave up. Who cares? And the shower was broke. They said, oh, we're so sorry. I said, it's cool, bro. It happens. And, got fixed, whatever. So roll with the punches, because things will go wrong. And if you react like, who cares, I'm on vacation, I'm enjoying myself, nothing's gonna bother me, that's great. One good thing about traveling, that's a skill you learn. Sometimes when you don't travel or leave your comfortable country or comfortable hometown or whatever it is, you don't learn that skill. Traveling makes you better because you're the dumbest person. You don't speak the language. You're like, oh, I don't know what to do. You're less cocky. You're very friendly all of a sudden because you're out of your element. You have no one to depend on. It's just you, especially if you solo travel. So, okay, let's talk walking across the road. Look that up. How do you cross the street? A lot of countries, you walk with confidence. It's crazy. You literally, Egypt's like that. You just walk with confidence. I think it's Vietnam. The drivers will judge you and go around you, but if you kind of try to dodge them, they're gonna accidentally hit you. So walk with confidence, keep an eye out, but just walk with confidence, and don't jerk around too much on the road. Don't freeze, just walk and go, Back to the crowd. Let's see if there's any other travel. One more and I'll get out of here as I'm entering the crowd again is money. Some places take American dollars. Oh, look at that. The money. Making sure that guy doesn't have a gun from the recent attack. But, that looks fun. All right, so money. Let's talk money. There's two ways. For example, when I was in Cuba, there wasn't a lot of ATMs. So what I did was I took out the first ATM I found. I mean, they didn't have internet there when I went. I still don't think they do. Just like one hotel, and it's shitty. Hotel Nacional in Havana. I would take out as much money as I was going to take out for the whole trip, and I would divide it by the days I was there. And I would hide that in my hostel or Airbnb or whatever it is. So take that and put it in or hide. Divide it so you know how much you're spending each day. So so not only Egyptians, but sometimes European tourists, they stare at you too. They just stare. I don't think they're mean by it, but it bothers me when people just stare at you. They don't smile or wave. Europeans, I love you Europeans, I used to live in Europe, but sometimes you guys are entitled. You guys walk through people. You guys are demanding. You guys think you're princesses and princes sometimes. Also, I've partied with many Europeans that are freaking awesome, but I have found there's a little bourgeoisness with Europeans, like those guys who just stared me down in their nice clothing and I'm in this like sweaty shirt. But yeah, so money, I would take it out in Cuba and like divide it by the days. I don't really do that anymore, but like if I'm at an airport, they charge more at the ATM. But if I could afford it, now I can afford it, not like when I was younger, I'll take out a bunch, because in Egypt, I don't know when the next ATM I'm going to see, and it might be on the street with a bunch of people out. Not that I think they're going to steal or anything, but they're just going to know I have money and haggle me to death. So sometimes don't let the ATM go by if you see a good one, and sometimes ATMs don't work. I will say now they have cardless ATMs most places. If you could use cardless, or you just scan the chip instead of putting in, that's best, because in Brazil, not a place you want to be using an ATM in public, in Salvador, Brazil. My card got stuck in there. It was the middle of the night. It was one of these night ones. I don't know what to do. I don't remember how I got it. I had to contact the bank the next day, or I broke the machine to get it out. I don't know, but yeah, don't let a good ATM go by. Also, make sure you contact your banks and let them know about the country you're going to be in, because they might freeze it. That's happened to me a lot of times. And then kind of look up the tipping process. That's another one. Australia, you don't tip in Australia because they pay their workers a fair wage, even if they're a waiter or a bartender. Egypt, you might tip for anything. So look it up. Look up what's a good percentage to tip, what's the normal price. The internet has a wealth of knowledge. When I first traveled, there wasn't a lot. We had to read Lonely Planet books. So yeah, I'm just realizing how old I sound. So solo traveling also, you tend to meet more people. I have noticed as I got older I don't, but that's because I'm probably staying at my own Airbnbs. If you usually stay at a like a hostel with a bunch of people, cheaper, like shared rooms, you're probably gonna meet more people and have people to go out with. Solo travelers tend to look for people to go out with, but you can also look at meetups, which is nice. So you can Google some meetups, and if you're American, be cool. know some stuff. I love America, but I understand it gets a bad rap from the rest of the world. And the best way I've heard it explained on TikTok recently, which was mind-blowing, was a Scottish guy. He moved to America and he loves it, but he said how the country views the Florida man, how the state of Florida, you know, the craziness of Florida man doing meth and fighting alligators or whatever. It's also that the rest of the world sees the America like Florida. So the rest of the world sees America as we see Florida. So, for example, I was at the I'll check out People's Way here, taking pictures. I was at the Luxor, I was at the Cairo airport early this morning, and it was crowded. Everyone's trying to go to different cities in Egypt. So I don't know if I've met any Americans yet, but a lot of Europeans and stuff, Italians and stuff like that. I finally see my first American, and he's probably like a little older than me. I don't dress nice, by the way. Most Americans don't dress nice. I just wear plain t-shirts and jeans when I travel, especially if it's a hot country. I do bring a couple dress shirts and rarely wear them, maybe if I go out or get a date. But he was in Crocs. He had gym shorts on. He had a Support the Blue American shirt on, just huge graphic tee. He had some graphic hat. He had a goatee. He was kind of overweight. I'm overweight, so I get it. He was really overweight. And he had a knee brace on and like a limp. And his wife, who was also kind of like cranky at the staff for not helping him. Don't be that guy. You know, I'm sure he's a great guy, but don't be that guy. You know, yeah, you're proud of your country. That's awesome. But, dude, no, I haven't seen anyone in Egypt with a huge Egyptian flag covering the shirt unless they're like 12. So, you know, it's just about kind of not hating your country, but not trying to throw it in people's face, like, especially in a different country. So that's another one. Be respectful, be cool, be kind, be knowledgeable. Americans, be knowledgeable. I'm not that knowledgeable. Some of my friends think I am. I'm really not. As you can tell by these videos. But, you know, you'll meet like cafe workers that have read all the great Russian authors, you know, and understand philosophy of Plato or Socrates or Aristotle. So just, you don't have to be an expert, just know a little so you kind of know what they're talking about and you can keep going. I love when I shock someone. Actually talking to my guide about Egyptian history, which I don't know that much, in my opinion. She was like, wow, you know more than most people. I'm surprised. Or a guy was trying to tell me about Islam. Like, yeah, I know this, and he's like, oh, wow, how do you know? And I'm like, oh, you know, I traveled to another Muslim country before. And, you know, I actually have a video here where I learned my friend Newman took me to a mosque and kind of explained Islam to me, you know, and I have a Quran. I own a Quran. I own a Bible. And the Bhagavad Gita from India, you know, just know some stuff. History is all around the world, and it's not a different country's history. It's not like it's American history or non-American history. It's human history. It includes you. It's your history no matter what country it's in, especially places like Egypt that are so old and ancient. So, yeah, just know some stuff. Have a good conversation. I have the most interesting conversations when I travel. One that just pops in my mind, last year in Thailand. I kind of had a relaxed vacation. I, you know, was only there for a short period, had a heavy work schedule. I drank beer, rode scooters, and swam and hung out with girls, you know, and did some Muay Thai kickboxing too as well. So when I left, I got confused on the time. They did the 24-hour clocks. A lot of countries do the 24-hour clock. So Americans, we get confused on that. So, you know, 6 p.m. will be 1800, right? So what I always do is I add 2. Did I say that right? Yeah, I think 1800 is 6. Or is it 1400? No, 1400 would be 2. 12, 1, 2, yeah. So I always add 2. So if it's 6 p.m., add 2, that's 7, 8. Add a 1 in front of that, 1800, that means it's 6. If it's 1400, minus 2, actually if it's 2 o'clock, add 2, so that's 4, so that means 1400. So if I see 1400, I go, okay, minus 2 from that second number, that will be 12. Get rid of the 1, it's 2. I'm probably making this sound way more confusing than it is, but anyway, so I missed my flight in Thailand. So I had to buy another flight because I had to work like 24 hours later, and I was running short on cash. So I booked another flight, so I was gonna be at the airport for like 10 hours. I go to this like crammed area, this old man shows up. He's like got a broken shoe, he's got this old luggage, he's kind of tall and goofy looking, but just big smile on his face, and he sits with me and he has this old computer. We start chatting about his old computer, and all of a sudden he was in the same boat I was in. He's just been traveling, like his wife died and he just started traveling, and he was supposed to go to Vietnam, and Thailand rejected his visa, so got stuck in the airport. So me and him were stuck there just talking, and me and him just clicked. And he was older than me, but had a very interesting story, retired, you know, widower. And he said, hey, would you like to, I'm gonna grab some beers, would you like some? And I was like, yeah. I wanted to say that, but I don't want to seem like the alcoholic. So we brought beers, and then after we finished these 2 big beers, just talking, have a good time, I went and got 2 more. And I think we did that 2 or 4 times, who knows? And we had a good time, and that time went by like that quick, and we talked about everything from life, anything about life, happiness, love, heartbreak, whatever it is, jobs. And that was one of the best conversations I've had in my life. And you'll find a lot of those when you travel. Not all the time, but every once in a while, this sprinkle of gold will come on you, and it'll be amazing. So roll with the punches, walk with confidence, be cool, be knowledgeable, and be stern but friendly. And always remember, everyone's your brother. So, love you, and those are my travel tips.